Glenn Fry. The heat is on. Welcome to round 5 of the 2012 Monster Energy Motocross Nationals. Ryan Gauld, Mark Travers, and Brian Koster in the start straight of the Gopher Dunes Raceway, one of the toughest motocross tracks in the world. Fabs, detail it for us.
Oh, you got that right. It is endless sand here. You can dig forever all the way to China. You're going to find sand. So that stuff gets really packed up coming in the corners under braking. So we're going to get these huge braking bumps, kickers as we call them, and then also acceleration bumps out of these ruts. And a lot of these tight 180s, these ruts get super deep. We see guys kind of just lose their focus and tip over these lap-in style crashes, but they're going to be costing guys positions big time. We're going to have to see guys that can really look for those inside-outside lines as this place develops and gets rough. Right now, where there's no lines at all, by the end of the day, there's going to be lines from banner to banner. And Gaudin's knows he's podiumed here in MX2.
He certainly has. The sand constantly changing throughout the day. Gaudi, let's get into those classes. Of course, MX2, the riders are on the line right now. We know that's the first class up, and MX1. Both of the Kawasaki's right now have the red place. They're leading the series. The other guys, they're just going to have to start winning soon.
Yeah, Matt Gerke and Teddy Mayer right now leading the classes respectively. Both took 3 out of the 4 possible overalls. Wes Canary on his OTSF ride, and then Jeremy Abdallah in the MX2 on his Royal Distributing ride took those other overalls. And they made it interesting, but right now it's the show. Monster Leading Edge Kawasaki, they topped the charts today in qualifying as well. So those guys are the ones being chased. They got the red plates. That's exactly what it means, the bullseye. But you know, the Canaries, Fasciotti, he's a little bit healthier. He's got the 2 weeks. Klatt's got to turn it up. Sean Moffenbauer, Tyler Villapoto here we go. And then MX2 on the line, like you said, you got Gray locally, Dylan Kalin locally here, the Allison boys, Medallia, Beaton, he's got to pick it up. There's so much going on, and this track really separates. It's the great equalizer, as people like to say, and it's the middle of the series. Right now, it's time to turn it on for these guys because, hey, man, we only got 10 motors left in the series.
Definitely. Okay, gate drops next. This is the Monster Energy Motocross Nationals. The Sand Nami they call Gopher Dunes. Brian Koster and Mark Travers in the booth for the 5th round of the 2012 Monster Energy Motocross Nationals. MX2 pilots on the line. Fabs, we got a great day today. The sun is shining. It's not too hot, not like it was last year, but I think the track is set up nice. Saturday National, get us caught up on those points. MX2 after 4 rounds.
Yeah, for sure. Teddy Mayer's looking solid. He's won almost everything. Nice little battle between Medaglia, Beaton, Allison. Not kind of in the middle, but look at it from 6th to 10th. It is anyone's game.
Fabulous. The Gopher Dunes track is nestled into Norfolk County, one of the most beautiful places in Ontario, on the shores of the Great Lake Erie, one of the most popular destinations for beach cottaging, you name it. You know, if you're coming down for the weekend, Fabs, to take in the race, take a drive out and see some of the surrounding areas. Very quaint little villages, absolutely gorgeous scenery, and some phenomenal areas to see wildlife. Come and take it in. They've got beautiful wineries, a lot of nice tasting going on, and some great ecotourism. Tell you what, this is the place to go. This is the Norfolk County, and that's where Gopher Dunes is, and we are racing motocross today. MX2 pilots out on parade. Gate drops next. Welcome back to round 5 of the 2012 Monster Energy Motocross Nationals. Mark Travers and Brian Koster in the booth as we get ready for the San Nami. MX2 pilots on the line, and this first MX2 Moto will be brought to you by MX Performance Magazine, the #1 motocross magazine in the country. Angie looking quite nice coming across. Tasha with the 30 board up. Here we go, Fabs. Let's get her going.
We got all our fast guys just kind of in a little bit from the very inside. A new start this year, a new track configuration. No longer with that big Talladega first turn. 5 sideways Trav. This is going to drop any second with a split screen on board with MBH Hondas. Nathan Bless, who rode for Gopher Dunes last year. And look, there's the oh, we've got Carnage Riders down, Travs.
Bless gets a great start. Was able to avoid that carnage, but it looks like the number 180 Brian, that's the intermediate Ben Toy with the Royal Distributing hole shot, first MX2 moto.
Yeah, and he's on a YZ 250 two-stroke. Intermediate riders allowed to race the 250 two-stroke, so it's working for him big time with a shot. But look who gets by right away. It's not it. Who's got his share of shots this year.
The Scott rider, the number 19, Topher Ingles in second place. It looks like Kevin Benoit. We didn't talk about him. New to this Eastern Series, Toy has a moment in the sand, Brian. Sketchy early.
Well, for an intermediate rider to get a start like this with a hole shot and then run with these top riders, it's huge experience. A little shaken there with that moment, but I'm loving the number 12 dropped from the KTM factory squad. First race this year, only doing the East Coast, and he's dogging Ingles right now.
He had a huge knee injury from a snowcross crash early in the season, so he was recuperating during that Western rounds, but you're right, dropping down to the support team, the Duroy KTM team. He's ultra fast, he's won motos in this country before, and he's now in second place and looking good.
He's fired up to show KTM his worth, no doubt about it. Now to the drag race into the left-hander, we see Toy with a nice shot, but if we look a little ways back on the Cowie, bam, that's Kyle beaten down. Jerry Medaglia gets in there, has to put on the parking brake, and also number 3, Teddy Mayer, got mired down there in that first turn pileup. Toy has a moment, and let's nod at Roost right around, and then you can just see Ingles and Benoit right in the mix.
Let's go on board. Bless coming to that first corner has a nice line. Then you see Beaton slide out, and also the number 25 and Nicky Beattie going down. Bedaglia gets hung up and some huge chaos. Remember last year, Brian, you were talking about that Talladega corner. This year, the first turn, ultra flat.
Yeah, and Beats there just knifes it under, sitting about 4, so he was aggressive coming in. Now let's see what he's made of, because it is a hot day. I love this shot. Benoit's taking a peek on Nonnet. We know that both these bikes are quick, because Nonnet's got his fair share of hole shots. There he goes, around the outside.
Benoit on the outside with a dynamite pass. He was pressuring Nonnet all over the place, and you saw the control coming to the corners. Remember, out-braking, Brian, that's how you make passes, especially on sand tracks.
Well, carrying momentum is the name of the game as well, and Benoit does just that. We saw his body English earlier in the race, manualing some of these bumps. He loves the sand, but we know he can ride good on hard pack too, because he's won at Saint-Julie. West goes by, and there's a sweet-sounding two-stroke of Ben Toy, but he's got Jared Allison up the inside here, having a peek through the Suzuki right-hander. A little knoll here into the rollers before the back tabletop.
A couple of Americans going at it hard now for second place. Inside is Nada, but look at Topher Ingles, number 19, carrying speed on those option lines and those flat corners, Brian. I love it.
Yeah, the track's still relatively smooth. There's 3 option lines laid out. Now you can see a perfect image there of 2 option lines, outside smoother, leading to the inside. Medaglia's cut up a ton of ground on Bless there, but doesn't get it done just yet.
Brian, as you said, this battle for 4th place, the number 20 to Spencer Knowles was in 4th, had a problem, backed off. Jeremy Medaglia knows this track well. He's got some great lines out here, and as you said before, that kid knows nothing but twist.
Now here's some more man-made rollers before this big single ski jump, and look at Jeremy, just a mitt full of throttle, out jumps Bless and moves into 4th.
Number 27, Nathan Bless on that MPH Honda, did not ride in the West, Brian. This is the first time we've seen him. To our leader, number 12, Kevin Benoit. First time we've seen him, and he's in the lead for crying out loud. Getting back to second place, checking the gap, number 19, Topher Ingles.
The California boys got some skills. Again, Ingles and Bless were teammates last year on the Gopher Dune Suzuki team, so they both have this track down. Bless lives close by. Of course, Ingles from California showing well, but it's right now the battle for 3rd, getting hot. Nonnet is in the crosshairs right now, the number 15 KTM. He's having a peek up the inside, D.
Jeremy Medaglia is cutting this track to shreds, Brian. He's going inside, he's going outside, he's making passes, and there's the number 3 of Teddy Mayer, who has joined this fray.
Mayer's been kind of freight training just a little bit behind Jeremy. Jeremy's been doing all the work for him, but look at this outside line. Teddy's been making a ton of passes there, gets by Nonnet, puts him up into 4th. There's still quite a few laps left in this race, so Mayer's got some sweet lines. He's such a brilliant rider. Here he is, goosing it up to this big tabletop, and that is a huge huck right there. Lands on the outside, and you see Nonnet hitting those little braking bumps and into those rollers, and that outside line is buttery smooth. Elementary, my dear Blabber.
Finding smooth lines on a sand track, Brian, is imperative. And look at the 15 of Jeremy Medaglia on the inside, finding the smooth way around as he makes his way up. And the number 19 of Topher Ingles for second place. This is a really wide track, Brian, so in a lot of cases you do want to get on the inside, but Smokes, that's where it's the roughest.
Well, the inside, you can kind of cut the guy off on the exit, and that is a very tricky corner. It looks very simple, but a lot of guys tip over in that big sandy berm, but Jeremy makes a pass there, puts him right up into second place, and he's got his old teammate up ahead of him, but Benoit's starting to check out on this field.
I know this is only the first moto, but I like the way this track is setting up for the Saturday National. It doesn't seem to have those crazy bomb holes. Here comes Mayer again, for crying out loud. There's that inside butter line that you like.
Oh, he is making it work big time. Ingles looking for a little reprieve from the bumps on the smoother outside line. Teddy just takes the punishment, slips into third nicely.
And Theodore's got Jeremy right in front of him, maybe a second and a half, so that might be able to play out to our leader, number 12, Kevin Benoit, do run KTM. Remember B-Team Pilot Brian thinking about that Red Bull KTM factory squad. They're sitting in second, the B-Riders in first, for crying out loud.
Yeah, it's huge. He's pulling away. He's got about a 12 to 15 second gap right now on this man right here, Jeremy Medaglia. But, you know, I think they picked Jeremy because he's on a one-on-one situation, a little bit more aggressive. He's willing to make contact. He eats, breathes, and sleeps motocross, whereas Benoit's got a snowcross career. Maybe that factored into their decision.
The battle for second is hotting up. Medaglia through that middle section, having some issues. Oh my, and Mayer launches it off the big ski jump, goes inside through the roll distributing corner. Together they come on contact. Mayer looks like he has second. What a pass.
Oh my goodness, I don't know what just happened there. Mayer is on fire. Jeremy is riding so well here today. Looked like he had him covered, but Teddy Mayer's got other things to say about that.
You're right, Medaglia's doing a great job in second place, showing some great defense, but there's no doubt that he can feel the pressure of Mayer coming up on him. To our leader, number 12, Kevin Benoit, getting his last lap. Like, here's that pass again with that big launch.
Coming through these rollers, they're both taking the punishment. Jeremy knows he's there, but Mayer just decides to jump a bike length further. That was all momentum coming up to that wall, and it's just how much punishment can you take this late in the moto. We're down to the last laps here. Jeremy comes in with a gallant effort to get it back. He's got a nice line there, but Teddy just will have none of it. And wow, Teddy could be the ride of the year. Not in first, but wow, what a comeback.
Bless and Nodit go by, get their last lap flags. That is fourth and fifth place, so a great ride for Nathan Bless.
Wow.
Babs, you talked about taking the punishment during that replay. Late in the moto, that is the most difficult time. These are great athletes in excellent shape, but it's a bit of a mental game late in the moto.
Oh, definitely, and physical conditioning. It's so easy to go down in this sand. One little lapse of concentration, and then you're going to be soil sampling. But with a huge win, talk about redemption for the likable French-Canadian Kevin Benoit takes the win. Stick with us. Welcome back to the rough and tumble Gopher Dunes Raceway, Courtland, Ontario. Great shot of our whole shot winner, Benjamin Toy, to the Yamaha leaderboard. Benoit comes out swinging. Mayer and Medaglia have a no-glove battle. Gotta love Richard Gray and James Roberts rounding out the top 10.
Winning the first MX2 Moto here from the Dunes in style is the number 12 of Kevin Benoit. We haven't seen him for a while. We sure saw him today, Kevin. What a race, bud. You got to like coming out and winning your first race.
Oh yeah, I can't ask for more. I got a good start, top 5, and I moved my way to the front quickly, and after that I just focused on the track, and I feel really good out there. Fitness is good, so can't ask for more.
A simply amazing ride for the number 15, Jeremy Medaglia, Red Bull KTM. Not a great start, Jeremy. Man, you battled back and then had a huge battle with Teddy Mayer for second and third.
Yeah, I had actually got a good jump, and Kyle Beaton went down, and I ran into him in the first corner and put me back somewhere around 15th, 18th, and then tried to work my way up, and Teddy was on me and got up to some lappers, but you know, that's part of racing. We were both charging hard, and he squeaked by me with a couple laps to go, but I'm happy with it.
My name's Brad Nodit. I ride for Image Tech Airway Heights Motocross Park and Moto Concepts Scott Honda. I got my first bike when I was 5 and just kind of putted around the yard with it until I was about 10, so I've been racing since I was 11. Motocross is, it's really good because it's an individual sport, but it's also a team sport, and it's also brought my family really close together. You know, we all grew up together traveling around racing, and I love coming up here to Canada. It's a lot more laid-back atmosphere. Have a lot more fun up here, I guess you'd say. I like riding the MX2 just because, let's face it, I'm not really big enough to ride a 450 yet, and I just like the 250F. It's a little bit more radical, I guess you'd say. It's more wide open, a little more chances being taken. The music I listen to is a little bit of everything. You know, a little bit of country, a little bit of rock, and a lot of hip-hop. Probably the favorite meal that my mom makes would be egg noodles with chicken and rice with little peas in it and all that stuff. I, Brad Nott, do not vote. I don't even know who's electing. I don't know. No, I don't really have any mottos. You know, I just give it 100% every day at everything I do and live life with no regrets. No, I've never committed a felony. Not that I've been caught up for, at least. No, I've never been in jail.
All right, Fabs, MX1 pilots on the line getting ready for their first moto. There's the homeboy, Tyler Medaglia, who is getting his gate pick ready. I think right now we should go get caught up in the points after 4 rounds in the MX1 class. Of course, Gorky, absolutely unstoppable. Canary sitting in second, Fasciotti with that sore shoulder hanging on to third. Villapoto's in there, Graysick, Berger, Jason Burke, and Brock Hoyer still in 10th. Okay, big story this weekend, Brian. The number 104, Ryan Lockhart, former pro rider, turned mechanic, will be riding the bike for Kyle Keast. It's going to be a good one. This is the Gopher Dunes MX track just outside of Tillsonburg, Ontario. MX pilots on the line for the first MX1 moto of the day, and there's a great shot. The second generation Salt, the Noof, the number 104, and he will be riding the Machine Racing Yamaha today for the injured Kyle Keast. This first MX1 moto will be brought to you by Smith Optics, as the lovely Ange has the 30 board up. Tasha bringing that moto board across. We've got MX1 pilots on the line. This is going to be fantastic, Brian. Track is setting up, and these guys are getting ready to go. A lot of anticipation for the big boys coming out.
Oh, for sure. Ange goes to 5. We saw on the inside is Davey Frazier on the TM. We're on board with Liam O'Farrell also on the TM. The Italian motorcycle. The gate is down, Travis, and they are roosting with all their might into the first turn. I can't keep my eyes off the drift. Camera imagery from O'Farrell. Great action on both sides of the screen.
Huge stores developing early. Clack goes down in that first corner, Brian, but the hole shot, the Royal Distributing hole shot, goes to the number 501 of Ryan Millar, privateer out of Manitoba, former factory star, back in the game and now leading. And how about the number 104 of Ryan Lockhart? The Noof is in second place. What a start for that Machine Racing Yamaha.
Outstanding for Ryan Lockhart. They call him Salt Jr. His dad's Salt Sr. But I'm loving O'Farrell making some great passes here early on. He lives close by to this track. South African native, married a girl here from Ontario, so he calls this track his home.
Check the left side of the splitter. We've got the number 5 of Matt Gorky with that inside line over the humpback, and he gets by the Noof and gets into second place. So some quick work for Gorky. Remember, he had the clean sweep here last year, dominated in the sand. He's going to be very difficult to beat here. As we get to Villapoto, we see Fasciotti, Morgan Berger, Jay Burke, and the number 55 of Josh Clark, the New Englander, who's coming up to do a little sand action today.
He just got a face full of roost from Jay Burke. Jay Burke from Hamilton, Ontario. Again, only about 45 minutes from this racetrack, riding super strong this year. He's getting some pressure right there from the 55.
Okay, Fabs, replay of the start. Watch the middle of your screen. You're going to see Clad have a problem. Medaglia almost goes down, and then Clad goes right down. Millar gets the hole shot, and a great one at that. Noof in second place. Gorky with a great start, as well as Villapoto fast out on the outside. So a real nice, safe start, but it's right here on the action cam.
Yeah, you call this a Sanami. You got that right. Jared Stock avoids a little bit of the difficulties. Oh, and he almost runs over Dusty Klatt. And then right on the outside, you can see a little contact with Sean Robinson. So O'Farrell right in the thick of things.
And Klatt's bike slid for quite a while, so very interesting as we get back to our lead battle. The number 501 FXR pilot, that is Ryan Millar. He's from Manitoba, and he is a big strapping lad. He's got that inside line coming into the KTM corner, but I don't know, Gorky's carrying a lot of speed through there, Bri.
Gorky's got the smoother outside line. He knows he's got lots of time. He's the odds-on favorite after his domination last season. There he gets on the inside of Millar. Millar responds. Look at the body English of Ryan Millar. Hole shot specialist a few years ago, and you're right, he's about 6'4" out of the boots.
Millar got a little off track there, Brian, when they're side by side. Here's that passing, and Gorky gets by on the inside, but look at the jockey position for Millar. Holy crap, he looks fantastic, but then he drifts, got a bad line, and then he got hung out outside there.
Yeah, he got outside in the last rut, but it's still, you know, he can flat track it, keep the gas on to make this tabletop, but Gorky, he's the man, and he's showing it yet again.
Of course, Gorky had the fastest qualifying time, Brian, no doubt there. As we get back to this cluster, we've got Burke, Clark, Villapoto, and is that the 26 of Morgan Berger on the inside as he gets by Villapoto?
Great little battle being waged for 7th place. Villapoto on that leading edge factory Kawasaki. Gorky's teammate Berger on that privateer 450 Cowie out of Idaho, and he got to the east with the help of Blazing Wheels Ministries out of the U.S. that volunteered to bring his bike out east. So second lease on life for the remainder of the season.
Villapoto actually had a great start, but he slipped out in one of those soft sand corners, allowed this package to catch up, and now we see the number 7 of Bobby Canary, who did not get a great start. We saw him on the drift action cam make a couple of passes, but he's finding some good lines on the outside. Look at this 3-pack, Brian.
3 wide up to the tabletop, and Bobby K, he's coming off a bit of a high from Edmonton. He is riding rock solid. Look at the style of Canary. He is a take no prisoners type of rider, and he can take the punishment. He's got the strength and the mental fortitude to get the job done. Bam, 2 passes in one little section.
Here comes the Gopher Dunes Racing Honda, Tyler Medalli on the outside. He knows this track well, Brian, no question about that. This is his home race. Holy mackerel, 2 passes, 1 corner from Medags.
And of course he lives close to Sand Del Lee, another sand-based track, though not as deep as sand is here. And we saw his troubles off the start. He was completely sideways. I thought he was going to go down. So great comment there, Travis, that he has really pile drive his way forward.
Millar still in second place through that KTM corner, but now he has company. The 777 of Tim Tremblay on that Schutz Kawasaki blows by Fasciotti and moves into second place. Where the heck did Tremblay come from?
Wow, Tremblay, big strong guy on the gas. Fasciotti knows this track. He saw that inside line coming into that turn, Travis. He did not hit a single bump. So he has this place dialed, and of course, nursing that sore shoulder, he's searching all the smooth lines out. We know Colt's hurting bad.
To the number 5, Matt Gorky is in first place, and look at how smooth he is making this track, Brian. He is starting to open up a huge gap. Now the battle is for 4th place. Canary is making it all up. He goes outside to inside on Millar through this TCX corner, and what a beauty.
Yeah, and that's the TCX boots, and that's one of the motovan companies that sponsors Bobby Canary's race team. But Gerke right now, he is just poetry in motion, buttering everything. Quiet guy off the track, but you slip a set of Smith goggles and a helmet over his head. Look the heck out.
Fasciotti on the inside has Canary on the wide side. Remember Fasciotti, he's got that sore wing, Brian. Oh my goodness, Bobby Canary is on fire. He is so aggressive. Last year this battle would have gone the other way, of course. Not this year. Canary has Fasciotti's number.
Well, when we talk about last year, Fasciotti was right on the back fender of Gerke for both motos, so let's not forget that. Gerke did not have the margin that he's got this year. Last year, Fat Yotes kept him honest, and he was within a second or 2 the whole race.
Tremblay with the check back. Look out! Here comes Canary, Rockstar Yamaha. He's tearing up this track outside through the Smith Optics corner. Brian, he's finding lines all over the place, although watching this body style, he will not be denied. Super rough track, though. Holy crap, look at the way they're bouncing all over.
Hugely rough, and look at Bobby K manualing through there and takes the huge punishment a la Teddy Mare. Bam, second place over Tremblay, and you know, Tremblay, this is his first race back, and he's a snowcross teammate with Kevin Benoit.
Tremblay, a former factory star in this country, has won the overall at this track, so you know he likes sand, to the number 2 of Dusty Klatt. Remember, he went down in corner number 1. Now he's battling Villapoto for 7th place. Dusty Klatt has found something here, Brian.
He's on fire. He's been chewing through this pack like a ripsaw, working forward, just dominating. We've seen him win here as well in the past.
Brian, the number 6 is Sean Moffenbauer. That's the Schrader's Yamalube Yamaha, is having a hard day in the sand. It hasn't been a great series for him. He's been having problems all over the track. The number 777 of Tremblay and the number 11 of Medaglia getting their last lap flag. So Medaglia has been closing the gap there as well.
That was a great shot of that finish line huck there at the Monster tabletop. You got to have a lot of stones, and you're hitting that thing 4th gear, close to full throttle on these 450s. Definitely on the MX2 bikes, you're taped in 4th gear.
Our leader, number 5, Matt Gorky, on his final approach, is up and over one of the best jumps in the country, taking the checkered flag, winning the first MX1 moto here from Goofy Dunes, Babs.
That's what Jeremy McGrath called this place a few years ago. Stick around, interviews after the break.
Welcome back to the Gopher Dunes Raceway. First MX1 moto in the books. There's your hole shotter in the first MX1 moto. That is Ryan Millar out of Manitoba. Let's get to our top 10. Of course, Gorky is your winner. Canary, Tremblay, Medaglia, Fasciotti holding on to 5th. I like Josh Clark, Tyler Villapoto, Jason Burke, and Morgan Berger rounding out the top 10. Genius!
Total domination from the Monster Leading Edge Kawasaki number 5. The red plate, buddy, you deserved it, that moto. 53-second lead. Like, that wasn't even fun to watch, man.
Thanks, it was fun for me. Yeah, my Monster Leading Edge C4MX Graham Bros suspension bike got an awesome start. I think I was right up there for the whole shot, but I came out like 3rd and then moved into the lead and then just rode my own race. My bike was working perfect and felt good out there.
Go fast, Kawasaki. Let's shoot, stepping up. Tim Tremblay showing up for the first round here on the East Coast in the deep sand. Timmy, buddy, what a solid ride, man. I'm so glad to see you here, first of all. And then you look like you belong here the whole series.
Yeah, thanks. You know, riding in the sand here, it's really the easiest for me. You know, hard pack, I always have hard time, but every time I came here was really good. I won a national here in 07, so doing a podium in MX1 makes me feel really good.
I'm Colton Fasciotti, #1 on the Royal. Oh, what is it? Oh my God. Hi, I'm Colton Fasciotti. I ride the #1 bike. Yeah, I bought myself a Harley last year, actually. My dad's got one, and my father-in-law has one too, so I kind of had to stay in the cool group or else I would have got kicked out. Pretty much listen to anything from country, a little bit of rap. No Justin Bieber though. I think my favorite non-moto sport would probably be either hockey or golf. You gotta like hockey if you're Canadian. If you don't, you might as well move to the US. Most memorable moto day would be, Walton was pretty cool. I won the sword there and wrapped up the championship and then proposed to my wife, Jocelyn. Man, it seems like everybody's having babies now. It's like the baby train. And I think everybody's trying to pass it on to me and Jocelyn, so everybody just keep that away. You know, we're still good, we're still young. Not too sure what I'm gonna do when I'm finished riding. I'd probably work at McDonald's or something, but hopefully not. Maybe I'll go work for JSR or something.
Well, we know Courtland mentored under JSR for many years. Maybe he can like clean his eaves troughs and do his yard maintenance.
Or maybe flip burgers over at the Champs house. There you go. Okay, MX2 pilots coming out of staging. There was your top 3 from the first moto. Track's really setting up nice, Brian. This day we've got great crowds. Gate drop, second MX2 moto next. This is the Monster Energy Motocross Nationals, the Canadian Motocross Championships. Second MX2 moto is about to go off the line with the lovely Tasha bringing the 30 board out. This second MX2 moto will be brought to you by Drift Action POV Cams, the evolution. Oh my goodness of the action cam. And that was a bit cheeky, Ange.
Oh yeah, baby. That is not my action cam.
All right, here we go. Second MX2 moto about ready to go off the line as Tasha goes to 5 as we focus back to that beautiful gate. Royal Distributing flags anchoring the edge of the gate. Riders focusing down. And the gate is down. Brian coming to that first corner. Who's going to get that Royal Distributing hole shot?
Oh, it is a clean one, but it looks like, again, it is that 252 stroke of Ben Toy from Kitchener, Ontario. Quite local to this track. Whoa, and our drift camera almost took a little loving from the 591 intermediate rider.
2 Royal Distributing hole shots for the 252 stroke. The KISS can't get enough of that bike around here, Brian. It sounds fantastic. Not as many 125s out here today. A couple of 250s. But look at Topher Ingles on the outside getting super aggressive.
This is a lot like the first moto with Ingles making quick work here at the front with Toy. Yeah, he moves into first place, but I like Jeremy Medaglia finally getting a good start. Oh, that's 18. That's not it. We saw him in the lifestyle segment. He's taking a soil sample here.
And Nada was leading the first moto, Brian, so he got another great start, but just went down into that slippery corner. Pair of KTMs battling for third place. We've got the support rider, number 12, Kevin Benoit, and the factory star, number 15, Jeremy Medaglia.
Awesome pass by Benoit on Medaglia right there coming up to the monster finish line. And now he's got Ben Toy in his sights, but Teddy Mayer is the guy getting a great start. So we've got some of our key players running up front here.
Mayer is the danger man as they come into the Suzuki corner. I love this corner, Brian. Real high side, rough down at the bottom. Toy looking good on the inside. Here comes Medaglia. Jeremy is tough as metal, but oh, look at Toy with a handful of 2-stroke throttle.
2 strokes really hook up well, and the power delivery a lot different than these 254 strokes. More horsepower at the peak end of the power curve, but on the smoother line, the number 3 gets by 108, Kyle Beaton. Teammates, Beaton got a great start as well.
Mayer gets by Toy. Now the battle is between Beaton and Toy, with Beaton on the inside, moving into 5th place. Great start for Beaton. Remember, he went down in the first corner of the first moto, so he didn't have a great moto there. Had to make a lot of passes, but great to see him in the top fray. Okay, here's that start again. Toy on the inside. That 2-stroke got a great jump. Coming around and getting the hole shot, Brian. What a beaut.
That is the Royal Distributing hole shot. Beaten right up on the inside, gets pinched off by the 19 of Topher Ingles. And I'm liking what we're seeing here, man. We've got like 4 or 5 of our top players right in the hunt for the victory.
Setting up for a dynamite second moto. Brian Medaglia on the inside. Pair of KTMs. Oh, they touched. And it looks like right now Benoit's got the measure.
Well, you know, Travis, the cream always rises to the top. But Medaglia here has got to be furious. Look at the body English getting that front end down. He is focused, and I love this outside line. Carrying momentum, outside becomes inside. Good defense from Benoit.
Talk to me about the track right now, because I really like the way it's setting up. Maybe not as rough as we've seen it in the past few years, but some really dynamite lines out there.
Yeah, exactly. The Saturday race is why this track is a little smoother. Look at this on the inside. Bam! Right by his old nemesis. And remember the battle these two had at Montreal Supercross last year? That was a bare-knuckle fight.
Always clean racing between these two pilots. I like that. Now the battle is for first place, but basically we're talking about 4 bikes for first as we move back in the pack. The number 180 of Ben Toy has fallen back to 9th place with the 165 of Roberts in 8th, Brian.
Roberts having some struggles there, trying to find a smooth way around, which is next to impossible on this racetrack. There is Spencer Knowles, who is a little ill this weekend. A great start in that first moto, and he faded back, and he looked like death warmed over between motos.
Medaglia tightens the gap on Ingles and then goes inside through that Dunlop sweeper and takes the lead. And now it looks like Benoit moving up on Ingles for second place as they come into that KTM sweeper section. And look at Mayer on the outside. Holy mackerel, Brian, outside and inside.
Man, he passed 2 guys there in the first moto. Past 2 here, and this is right at the front of the pack, so Mayer now up into 3rd. And look at the line choice and the aggressive riding characteristics of Teddy Mayer, and I feel sorry for Jeremy Medaglia. He's got his rear view mirror full of that Kawasaki.
Fabs, back to a replay of the Mayer pass. You know what I'm surprised about when I watch this is how much throttle Mayer still has. Comes off that jump, lands, get into this tricky section, and then just twists it right through there, baby.
Yeah, right there he hits it, and he just... Body position is perfect, gets his weight back, he knows how to keep the front end light, yet the traction down, working the suspension, using his legs and arms, relaxed stance on the bike, man. He's letting the bike work under him, and he's just kind of letting it come to him.
Knowles is under heavy pressure now from the 22 of Dylan Kalin, Holly Gully Yamaha. Bit of a local ride for Kalin as he goes outside. Oh, Knowles has a problem in that slippery landing section. Goes wide. That puts Kalin into 9th place. We've got a rider down, Brian. The Red Cross flag is out over the finish line.
That's the 81 of Robert Mittler, his dad Mark right there from Mittler Motors. Terrible stuff, and Timmy Lee taking care of business. Oh, on the Red Cross flag. But these two, that's one way to get acquainted. That's 19th position. And I'm liking Beatty there, 25. Yep. Lifted the bike up to let Trey Franklin get out from underneath. Great sportsmanship, because Franklin was kind of pinned under there.
The number 12 of Calvin Benoit, who was sitting in 3rd place, had a problem off track. He falls back to 4th. Now we've got a great battle for 5th place with the 108 of Kyle Beaton and the Rockstar Yamaha of little Ricky Gray on the outside. You know he likes this track, Brian.
Wow, he sure does. He loves it. A lot of time out here, and look at him making those lines work. He knows how to find the lines late in the motos.
Benoit back on it, goes inside on the number 19 of Topher Ingles, regains 3rd spot, so he's back on his A game. Here's that little cluster for 6. Kalin through that rough roller section, Beaton having some problems, and here comes the number 20 of Jared Allison, who's in a dogfight with Beaton for 3rd place overall right now in the series.
Super impressed with Holy Gully's Dylan Kalin. He is fit. He likes this track from Grand Bend, Ontario, and of course, huge, rich history with Holy Gully as Beaton goes sideways.
Kalin's probably the fastest guy in this class that hasn't made it to the podium yet, Brian. Look at this battle for the lead. Mayer is all over the number 15 of Jerry Medaglia.
They're getting super creative. You couldn't even see him on the outside of that berm where Jeremy was. Lots of choices out on this track, but right now it becomes a mental game as well as physical, because you can bet Jeremy feels Mayer's pressure. He saw what happened in the first one. He's got to be thinking about more than what's ahead of him right now.
A battle between the energy drinks, the Red Bull, KTM, and Medaglia is leading right now by that Monster Energy leading edge Kawasaki with the red number 3 plate of Teddy Mayer. Oh boy, he is daunting.
It is a huge battle. Can't say enough about both these fine athletes, both very focused and dedicated to their craft. And up the inside, Mayer seems to make it work anywhere, Travers. Inside, outside, he just wants to stay out of that roost zone. Man, he's just slid right into, well, that's the lead.
Mayer's making a really difficult track look smooth, Brian, and the same for Gorky. So something is going on in there, and it is going right. Here's that pass again.
So much confidence as well in the motorcycles. They've both been on Cowies for an awful long time up here in Canada. Teddy's practically Canadian. He's got the feel of this country, and I just don't know what the ingredient is there, but he's got something.
I think Medaglia's going to have to get a little bit more aggressive and bust him off the track. Back to the battle for 5th place. Kalen has made up a lot of ground on number 37. That's Dick Gray. Now, Rockstar Yamaha coming into that KTM corner. Those guys have been battling for a few laps.
For sure, and Richard Gray looks great in that gear. Moto Van sponsor with Bobby Carey and that Ocean Transportation Yamaha, but it's the Holly Gully rider right now that's pressuring hard. But right now, Teddy Mary's on cruise control. He's established a bit of a gap on the 15 KTM. Looks like he's coming in to take glory.
There with a little look back, he wanted to know where Medaglia was and comes over and takes the checkered flag with a little goon relief and the second MX2 Moto win, Brian. And that will give him the overall for the day. Let's get to our Yamaha leaderboard. Second MX2 Moto, let's go down to 5th with a great ride for Richard Gray. Kalen, Allison, Boothroyd, Beaton, and Bless rounding out the top 10. Let's go down to the impound with BP Jean.
Monster Leading Edge Kawasaki, the red plate, once again doing his thing out in front. Teddy, battle the sand. We're glad to get this day over with there, but you know what? Another solid overall, buddy, and more points up top.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I got a better start that time, made it easier, but you know, Jeremy was riding good that time, and I mean, I burnt myself out that first moto. Man, I really had to push it, and I was just kind of weak out there in the legs, you know. But I just, you know, tried my best, and it worked out.
To our MX2 Series point totals after 5 of 9 rounds. I like to see Jared Allison in 3rd, Kyle Beaton falling back to 4th, Noddet, Ingalls, Parker Allison, Dylan Kalen, Spencer Knowles, and Richard Gray rounding out the top 10. And there's your top 3 today in the MX2 class. We've got Mayer, Benoit, and Medalia. MX1 boys right around the corner. You know you want it. Little bit of Canadian motocross, the 2012 Monster Energy Motocross Nationals Round 5 from the Gopher Dunes racetrack. Brian Coster and Mark Travers in the booth for the final moto of the day. This is the second MX1 moto, and it will be brought to you by Royal Distributing. Angie with the 30 up, Tasha bringing the motorboard across, and we're getting ready to rock and roll, Fabs.
We saw the action in the first moto. I'm sure we're going to have lots more in this one. Helmet cam again with TM's Liam O'Farrell. He had a great charge in that first one, almost breaking the top 10. Let's see what he's got for us this time.
Rider with a problem off the gate that looked like Clark as we get back to the splitter. Some carnage in the middle. Oh my goodness, and O'Farrell goes down on that Orthoflex TM. There's a problem there. And look who gets the whole shot, Brian. The number 104, Ryan Lockhart, Machine Racing Yamaha.
Man, he's got the Bondi engine. He got second out of the hole the first time. This time he's got that Royal Distributing whole shot. O'Farrell, he's back up and running.
Brian, great story with the 104 Machine Racing Yamaha. Ryan Lockhart out front right now. Of course, he is Kyle Keith's mechanic and friend with Keith's hurt. He's riding Keith's bike, getting that Yamaha to the track. There's a great pool going on right now to see how he's going to finish. All the money that's generated from that pool is going to go to the Injured Riders Fund as Klatt takes the lead.
Dusty Klatt makes quick work of Lockhart. We know Lockhart's got the skills. It's just the conditioning. Look how great Ryan is riding. Salt Jr. looking good on that LGS Yamaha. John Nelson's got to be stoked. Had no idea he was going to race. He was just going to be Keith's mechanic and man friend. Here he is behind the handlebars representing.
Tyler Medalia on the inside looked like he had second, but Salt Jr. will have none of it. We're not expecting Lockhart to win, of course. We're just interested in how he finishes. The fact that he got 2 great starts is awesome.
He's got the skills. He's going to race the last few races, so I think he's only going to get better. And here he comes. He dabs there, but he's got the line. That has to feel so good. There's nothing better than getting a whole shot at a motocross race. You're just so stoked. The adrenaline is just flowing through the veins. Now on board with Lee Ham, and he gets right up close with Berkey, but on the outside we see the 7 of Bobby Kay. I don't know if there was a little contact there, but there sure was with our drift helmet cam into the ground. Those cameras are tough.
Flat tracking first sand corner here, Brian, very difficult. We've seen some carnage here today, but doesn't look like anybody's seriously hurt. Back to the battle for second place. The number 11 of Tyler Medalia has got the number 5 of Matt Gorky. Remember how fast he was in the first moto? He can just about go anywhere, and oh my goodness, gets on the gas and blows by Medalia.
Unbelievable. Gorky, like you say, can pass inside out. It doesn't matter. Back to the track. This is the roughest it's going to get on the day, and you can see the chop coming in. These riders just fighting every step of the way, trying to keep the front end light, getting over the rugged sand obstacles, and it's so easy to knife that front end under, Travers, that just in a heartbeat, So right now, the Girkman, his eyes are on the number 2, and I'm loving what we're seeing from Klatt right now. This is where he belongs.
He does belong up front, Brian, but he has led Moto so far this season, has not been able to hold on, and I don't think he's got, the comebacker on the inside. Check the body language, Brian. Like Gurka on the outside, Klatt's hanging on for dear life, grabs up Nick pulling out Red Bull KTM, but it's not enough.
Wow, what a pass by Gurky. Just look at him, just airborne there to the stars. Gets the power down. He just seems to be able to get that Kawasaki to hook up. Here he is, passing Medegli. He's going around the outside up to the tabletop, and look how much faster he's going, and just a little bit of brake drag there so he doesn't over jump, because it's easy on these big 450s. Now back to the Smith Optics corner, a small tabletop traps comes in, and look, they're both hitting a lot of bumps here. The inside where Klatt is, it's a bit deeper, but right there you can see Gurky get the edge. It smooths out sooner, and he gets on the gas, and power on demand.
You better believe it. The 450s have so much power, Brian. It's obvious that they're not using it all. Of course, Gorky's using a bunch of it. Back to the battle for second place. Medallia has made it all up on Klatt. These guys have been pretty close for most of the moto. Dusty Klatt leading moto, sitting in second place. This is where we need to see him. This is where his team needs him.
Oh, he's out in the soft stuff. That's where Gurky made the move on him, so he says, I'm going to try this. Doesn't work. Look at that. Tyler, wow, uses all the suspension. Looks like he bottomed out on the landing. What a move on that SSS suspended Honda.
Medallia into second place, and now the battle is for fourth. Bobby K goes high on that Suzuki. Huge right-hand burn, fast on the inside. Remember, Brian, he's got that sore shoulder. Very difficult on this track. Canary carrying a lot of speed right now. Fasciotti looks like he's backing her down.
Yeah, for sure. The Edmonton racetrack really punished Fasciotti with that high-speed chop. And right here, look at him, a face full of ruse from Bobby Canary. And a lot of these guys are running the scoop-style tire. Of course, paddle tires are illegal, but now these tire manufacturers have really good kind of scoop sand tires. Of course, Pirelli and Dunlop leading the way in that field.
Well, we thought maybe after the break that Fasciotti was going to come back.
Oh no! Oh no!
That definitely hurt. Flat landing coming off of that big launcher. Not a good thing for Fasciotti. And here comes the 273 of Graysick as he swings by and gets into fifth place. Redemption Racing's Graysick's been riding really well lately.
Yeah, totally getting a third lease on his career. But Liam O'Farrell right now for 11th place gets by Tyler Villapoto. Villapoto was very strong in the first moto, but the track getting really rough. Liam, local boy, knows the lines and the intricacies out here, and I think he's using that to his advantage.
Remember, he went down in the first corner, so he's made a lot of passes to get up that. The number 6 of Sean Moppenweier was in 8th place, Brian, and he's gone down again. If it wasn't for bad luck, Fabs, that kid had no luck at all.
You got that right, man. He is suffering. This is a day he would rather forget. 0 on the scoreboard.
To our leader, number 5, Matt Gorky, leading edge Monster Energy Kawasaki in total control right now. Oh my! And just gets it wrong coming through that Smith corner, Brian. I'm not sure how big of a lead he had. Looks like about 20 seconds. He's back on the bike. He kept it going. That's a good thing. Holy mackerel, things happen so quickly in these motos.
That perfectly illustrates the difficulty out here. The guy's the cream of the crop out here, obviously dominating the field, just gets a wheel slightly wrong coming into this corner. You can just see how gnarly and rough that is up close. That is so gross, and Girkman just goes over the bars, but up and running, still maintaining first place.
You got to pay attention and keep your focus all the way through the race. Tyler Medallia getting his last lap flag in second place to Dusty Klatt right now in a podium position. The team's got to be happy with this, Brian. They got to get this kid on the podium.
Well, this would be his first podium of the year, a 2-time, actually a 4-time Canadian champion, 2 in MX2, 2 in MX1. He hasn't even been on the box yet this year, looking strong to do it here today.
Gurky now back on the bike and looking good in first place. Of course, he did have a good-sized lead, so not so worried about this. I just saw the number 1 of Colton Fasciotti. It looks like Klatt and Bobby Canario, who has closed the gap, are coming up to lap the champ. I don't think I've ever seen Fasciotti get lapped in the last 4 or 5 years.
This is going to crush Colton's confidence. We saw him G out and re-injure that shoulder very obviously. Not enough to pop. You're kidding me.
Get out of here.
Look at the aggression of Bobby Canary right there on the Ocean Transport. Freight forwarding Yamaha. Rockstar back, looking good in that white gear. 3rd place, unheard of this late in the race.
Bobby Canary was way back in 4th place. He has closed up 30 or 40 seconds on Klatt to pass him and get on the podium to the number 5 of Matt Gorky on that Parts Canada Kawasaki. Comes over, takes the checkered flag, and the clean sweep once again here at Gopher Dunes. What a dynamite ride for the dominant rider in this series. Let's get to our top 10 Yamaha leaderboard. Second MX1 Moto. Graysick looking good in 5th. Fasciati holds on to 6th. I like O'Farrell, Josh Clark, Jay Burke, and Tyler Villapoto in 10th. Fabulous!
4th in the first moto, 2nd in that second moto. A hard-fought moto for you, Ty. You got to be stoked with 2nd.
Yeah, you know, I'm really happy. I had a good jump. I was first coming in the first corner, and you know, knew squeaked in for the whole shot. But you know, I just tried to pace myself because it's a long moto out there and it's hot, and I had to work really hard in that first moto, so I used a little too much energy. But you know, all the work we put in, the whole team, you know, my mechanic Ken, you know, Derek, Matt Bannon, you know, Gary Bartholomew for letting us use his rig, and you know, we're really happy. Thank you very much.
On the strength of 2-3 moto scores, Bobby Canary, Rockstar Ocean Transportation Yamaha, is going for a 2nd overall in the day, man. What an epic moto, and you managed to pass Dusty right there on the last lap. That was huge.
Yeah, you know, I actually thought I was in 2nd for a lot of that moto and kind of settled, knew I needed the points at that point, and then right there 20-30 minutes in, I seen that I you know, wasn't about 4th. I said, man, I better do the move on, so I put that Yamaha back on the pipe and tried to catch back up to those guys. Luckily got one more guy right there at the end.
Great job, Bobby K. Let's get to our series points in the MX1 class after 5 of 9. Gorky, Canary, and Medaglia looking good. Fasciati's still in there. I like Graysick, Berger, and Jay Burke in 9th.
Nice job, Travs. Great shot of the noof right there, collecting his $200 for his whole shot. I want to thank everyone for coming out today, the Hills Crews, Colin, our sound tech, and you, the viewer.
Thanks for watching the 2012 Monster Energy Motocross Nationals. Brought to you by Motovan.com, Canada's source for power sports parts and accessories. And RoyalDistributing.com, Canada's power sports leader. For Brian Costa and Ryan Gold, I'm Mark Travers. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week in La Belle Province.